What are some of the IT challenges that are unique to the consumer finance industry that you guys face?
Yeah, all throughout my career, I would say regulation, examination, audit. It is that's an ever-present amount of work you got to care for, right? You'd love to just be working on what's the next enhancement, next product service you want to put in. But probably the biggest thing is in our space, regulation at the federal levels with the CFPB. So they're, and like them or don't, they are providing the guidance and the oversight that a lot of times it does make sense, but it can be onerous, right? Then when you get into if you're buying software or if you get into a partnership with folks, we've put in a tremendous vendor due diligence and vendor management program here over the last year. And so then it's like, okay, not only do you have to do your own thing to stay compliant with all the federal regulation as well as all the individual states we play in to make sure that we're following all their rules. You get into the partners. So then we have a pretty robust due diligence process and how we keep up with how we select new vendors. If they don't pass, then they can't be a vendor. Then we have annual follow-ups with them, and it can be a bit onerous. A lot of the bigger companies have gotten the process to reports and all those things, and it goes pretty smoothly to stay on top of things. But actually, we've had some that are really that was too much. And they're like, yeah, I guess we can't play with us. So, but it's interesting. So it's less to, there's always IT challenges and stuff and the finances, but honestly, it's the regulation. I think the same is true in healthcare and some other entities. You get into that where that's a big part of what you got to care for.
Sure. Well, switching gears a little bit, the trend lately has been the whole CapEx versus OpEx theme. I think that was amplified through COVID, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, even your car washes now have a monthly recurring fee basis. So if we're moving things to an operations expenditure, we're seeing a lot of vendors wrap in the service piece into the cost rather than leaving it to the IT staff. Mm-hmm. In a sense, like outsourcing the certain components. Are you seeing the same philosophy shift in the consumer finance space?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, we're leveraging AWS pretty extensively. We're leveraging a lot of Microsoft in what we do. And honestly, I just went through this in the past month or so as part of the bringing all of our agreements to one level and getting a better deal, but also looking at the services they provide. So that you're correct. It's a monthly operational expense. But what's been interesting is how much at our size, we're at a decent size. So the amount of resource that comes with that. So yeah, our operational expense went up some, but we did a good job budgeting for it. My big thing is if we budget for it, we know what my spend can be. And when we manage to that, we're going to be fine. But we also have a mix because we are still doing a fair amount of our own development. So we're still capitalizing labor. So the CapEx mostly in our world now is more around capitalizing labor because it's not about buying servers or running data centers or all that stuff. So that we're winding that down. But there's still a lot of opportunity in what we build that lets us capitalize the labor. And that gives us some flexibility to spread that over time. And actually it's helped me this year in the budget because we've gotten better at our process around all the developers and project managers and everybody that you're able to capitalize their work. We're doing, and I hate to say it, but we're doing timesheets, right? We're saying, hey, you got to at least tell us how many hours you spent in these defined activities that can be capitalized. So it's maybe a little different than the spirit of the question, but that's where we're getting a mix of, so still getting some CapEx while we switch more the infrastructure and how we run things to OpEx.
Great.